All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome back to another MK1 video. Well, I guess this one is a combination MK1 versus MK11. Which game is the better game? Which game do you like more? Of course, leave a like on the video like it says on the screen. It helps the channel out a ton. And also, I want to know your feedback, your comments, your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm always interested to know your opinion. So let's get into this. This has pretty much been a hot topic since MK1 came out. And I don't know if I've made a video about this, talking about, I think I have, like at the beginning. But I feel like MK1 has improved so much since launch. Obviously, it had like pretty much by far the worst launch in Mortal Kombat history. It had the worst launch since they Midway became Warner Brothers Studios, right? Like by far, it's not even close. The launch was so terrible that it feels like the game had no legs to start with. It feels like the game just fell flat on its face and has not recovered since. But it has slowly but surely, the game has gotten better. With NetherRealm having more time to add probably things that they had planned to add before seemingly the game being rushed out. The game has improved quite a bit. On the contrary, Mortal Kombat 11 had, I think, potentially the best release out of any Mortal Kombat game. I think the first 3 months of MKX, no, I think the first 3 months of MKX was just like a phenomenon. It literally took over the gaming world for about a month, right? And then after that, it started trickling off, but it was still insane with how many new people were playing at that had not played Mortal Kombat in such a long time for the first 3 months. After that, obviously, initially, it just fell off more and more, and it was more just the actual Mortal Kombat fans stuck around longer than that. But if you guys were around back then, people on Twitch who were not even fans of Mortal Kombat would try the game out just because of how hyped it was, and everyone was playing MKX. So I take it back. MKX had like the biggest launch out of any Mortal Kombat games because that first 3 months was just so insane with the amount of hype that game had. Man, I love Mortal Kombat X. But Mortal Kombat 11 was very close. It had the crypt. It had a bunch of intros, a bunch of outros. It had the Towers of Time. It had customization, custom moves. There was no gear stats like in Injustice 2 that I talked about in yesterday's video, or like video from 2 days ago, where you could actually take the moves online that you normally wouldn't use with your character, and the gear stats would not carry over. That helped out a lot, by the way. So, which in my opinion, I think MK11 was pretty consistent overall. But when it comes to comparing two games, it's all about personal preference. So, in my humble opinion, with as many problems as MK1 obviously had, I think gameplay wise, it is far superior than MK11. MK1 gameplay is so much fun. It's so open ended. There's so much potential you could do with your character. Not only, when it comes to offense, but, Quan Chi, for example, could use it on with zoning. Even though, yeah, the zoning is definitely not as strong as it could be based on, the cameo system. Because there's not a lot of cameos that are going to help you with your zoning. You have Sub-Zero, but he kind of puts the ISR on you, and then you still have to do your own zoning. And then so there's no real like zoning cameos. It's more for offense. It's more for combo potential, combo extensions. But as far as like my play style, trying to be as aggressive as I can and do these sick combos, it works perfectly for me. But yeah, definitely offense reigns supreme here in MK1. You have air combos. You have extensions without spending meter, which was one of the things that I loved so much about the return in this game. So if you guys remember in MKX, you could do a normal spear with Scorpion. It would capture the opponent, bring them over to you. You didn't have to use meter. MK11, you had to use a bar of meter to use Scorpion's normal spear. And in order to capture the opponent for a combo, you had to use a bar of meter. That was always so confusing to me with MK11. Characters who always had meterless capture states, launchers, ended up costing a bar of meter now in this game. Sub-Zero, regular Ice Ball, would not. It was too slow to combo in many situations. But if you use it with a bar of meter, then it became fast enough to combo from anything. Stuff like that. That's one of my biggest problems with that game too. But MK11 or MK1 was a return to all these characters who traditionally have had moves that have always captured, always put you in the combo situation. Now they don't cost a bar of meter, so it opens up your meter usage for a lot more potential, a lot more variety than you would have in a game like MK11. So yeah, I think gameplay wise, just at least for me, because especially since I love tag team based fighting games. Well, this is not like a tag team based fighting game, but assist based fighting game. I've always played them growing up. I was felt very comfortable from the start of the game to play these type of games. So the gameplay for MK1, I think we could all agree, is just far better than MK11's gameplay. But that's where it ends. That's where it ends, ladies and gentlemen. I think as far as comparing them as a full package and as a fighting game, I think Mortal Kombat 11 is actually a better fighting game and a better package than MK1. As much as I love the gameplay, I can't really defend the fact that, a year into the game, we still don't have online lobbies. What is up with that? MK9, MKX, Injustice 2, MK11, all these games literally launched with online lobbies. What in the world is wrong with the fact that a year and some months into the game's life cycle and we still don't have online lobbies? One of the biggest mysteries for me. We got the Warrior Shrine, which was absolutely garbage, before we got online lobbies. That is just horrible. But Mortal Kombat 11 had 4 intros, 4 outros for every character. Some characters had even more. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, I think they had like 1 or 2 extra outros. The customization, you could customize a lot more than you can here in this game. Granted, there were a lot of sort of repeat style costumes, but the option was still there. There was a lot more variety, even though no, I think color palettes is where you're like, these kind of just look very similar. But I guess that's how color palettes usually are anyway. Like, it's just the colors flipped around. I think they started that with Injustice 2. There were a lot of color palettes in Injustice 2, but a lot of them were kind of similar. Same with the gear, but like I said, it's just natural. If you're going to have so much gear, you're going to have a lot of gear that sort of is similar to other gear that you could potentially have. I mean, how many style of grenades could you put on Sonya, right? Before they start looking very similar. But the fact that they had an option to customize things like that was really nice. I think one of the most fun things that I kind of overlooked, just because it was something that was more so entertaining at the start, was my journey through the crypt in MK11. MK11 had the best crypt of all time, but I kind of forget that it did have the crypt and how fun it was, because it's something that we enjoyed at the beginning of the game. I think I should go back. I think I should like start a different profile that I've never done the crypt on before, and like go do everything again, because it was so much fun. Like the first few days of MK11, going through the crypt, like they did such an amazing job with the MK11 crypt. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, this is so fucking sick. You had to solve puzzles in order to unlock different places. Shang Tsung's treasure room, where you had like a bunch of goodies, like the most expensive things. I think they gave you the most currency. It was so cool. So I think that's one of the biggest highlights, in my opinion, of MK11 is the crypts. And it's something that I personally always forget about just because I enjoyed it at the beginning of the game and I focus more on the gameplay aspect. But it did have the crypt, amazing single player mode that you could play. Towers of Time were actually very entertaining in that game. They were annoying in some ways, too much shit on the screen that would hit you. But they were still entertaining. They were pretty crazy. They added the beginning of the assist and the cameo system in MK11. If you guys remember, there was like a assist tower where a character could come and help you, and they would do specific moves, and you could still continue combos with. That was like the beginning of the cameo system right there. And there was no like pause when you would do the assist in MK11. It would just come out. You could freely move around. So the combo potential was pretty crazy with that specific system because the cooldown was pretty fast. Like your character would come out really fast and you could do multiple assists in one combo. So I think that was really cool. And yeah, I think just overall the package, not including the gameplay, makes MK11 the better game, in my humble opinion. But yeah, the gameplay is just not for me. Some people are gonna disagree. Some people are gonna say that the gameplay for MK11 is better than MK1's gameplay because there's gonna be a lot of people who just do not like cameo fighters. They haven't liked it from the beginning. They don't like assists. They want it to be a 1v1 fighting game, which, obviously is understandable. Ooh, look at that. 50% combo. Oh, 37 hits, 50% combo with Ghostface and Big Daddy Goro. Man, I love Ghostface. But yeah, some people are not going to like gameplay like that because, they might not feel comfortable doing those specific combos, which, again, when it comes to comparing two games, it's all about personal preference. So my personal preference is this crazy ass 35 hit combo, like 30-second long combos of MK1. But some people's game preference might be the crushing blow system, which I absolutely hated. So yeah, I guess when it comes down to gameplay, it's just going to come down to personal preference. But in my opinion, in the battle of MK1 versus MK11, which fighting game is better, which package is better, I will 100% admit that the package delivered by MK11 is a better value, is a better experience than the package delivered by MK1. But I would pick MK1 all day over MK11 because of the fact that the gameplay is just so amazing, in my opinion. So in the battle of MK11 versus MK1, my pick is MK11 all day, all night, any time of the year. I will take MK1 over MK11 all day. And you guys know, you guys were around when I was playing MK11. Man, I would complain about the gameplay so much. So my stance has not changed or my stance on the gameplay of MK11 has not changed since pretty much day one. I think that because of the hype of the game, the first year and a half, 2 years, I was fine with the gameplay. I didn't like it. I had my problems with it, but I was I was fine with the gameplay. It was just over time, it wore me down, and the criticism and the annoying things about the game just got more and more annoying with more time that passed for me. And if you guys remember, Mortal Kombat 11 was our main game for about 4 years because of, the pandemic and all that was going on. Probably halted a bunch of plans that they had for future releases. So yeah, that was a hard time for me, that's for sure. But yeah, I'll take MK11 over MK. I mean, I'll take MK1 versus MK11 all day. But that's just my pick. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll get back to online gameplay soon after, hopefully I am 100%, because if you guys could hear from my voice, I sound like ass. I sound all nasally. I hate making videos like this, especially online where I have to be more animated. But hopefully I feel better. But if not, then I'll just have to push through it. Show must go on. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.